command the universe to your will. Command your universe to your will. Instead of asking it is given, command and it is given. I've noticed in the last few weeks that I've switched to commanding rather than using asking it is given, which I've done for years. Haven't made a purposeful choice to do that, but I've just noticed that I'm doing it. When you command, you are commanding your world. So your world is bending to your command. Forget about everybody else's world. I don't understand how this works, but bring it insular, bring it back to you and it being your world. So your world is taking care of you. You are commanding it to do what you want of it. So you can talk about it like that, or you can say you're commanding your subconscious, but you are setting the command. You are giving that momentum as you're deciding what you want. You are commanding space and time to bend to your will, but forget about everybody else's universe. Forget about everybody else, just bring it back to you. This is your universe. Again, don't ask me to explain that because I can't. But if you start them thinking, but this person has to do this and this person has to do that, you come away from the outcome that you're manifesting and you look at all of the bits around the outside. That isn't your job to worry about. All you have to be concerned about is, what do I want? What is the outcome I want? Right, that is what I'm going to command into being. And I'm going to give you a set of rules for this that you really need to look at when you're doing this, to know that you're doing it with full momentum. Okay, so we're going to command reality to bend to our will. What do we need in order to do that? We need a very clear instruction to give it. We need to know what we're telling it to do here, and we need to mean it. So this is what you want, okay? Do you really want this? So just sit and think about that for a moment. Do I really want this? Okay, write it down. Yes, I do. Or do I want it a bit like this? You know, you might want to tweak that. When you read it back, how natural does it feel to you? How much do you actually want this? Would you have to compromise? Okay, are you more worried about that compromise than you are about getting this thing? If the answer is no, then great, because that's what you want. No, I get it. But the chances are you won't have to compromise when it comes to it anyway. Am I ready for it? So am I ready to accept this into my life right now? Can I handle it? Yes, I can. Okay, now you're ready to command. You're going to command your world to do what you want it to do. What generally happens is, like, I've used asking it as given for years, and I'm not saying that that works any the less powerfully, it doesn't, but I've just felt now that no, I'm telling it what to do. I don't have to ask, because really, who am I asking? What am I asking? Why am I even asking it of myself? No, I'm telling it of myself. I'm saying, this is what I want, do this. Now, I would not consider a circumstance as anything that would ever get in my way, and I haven't done for a long time, but at least the last couple of years, I can go against something that's happened in my life, that has happened, and that would say, so you can't have that now because this has happened. I would ignore that completely. I go, okay, I see that's happened, but now I want this. And this is what I'm going for, and this is what I'm going to command into existence, regardless of what has happened, regardless of what someone's saying, regardless of anything that's happening that would dictate that actually, no, it's gone this far down the line, it hasn't happened, so now it cannot happen, or for any reason whatsoever, or any circumstance. Circumstance to me is just something that happened in the past, because it did, even if it just happened 2 minutes ago, it happened in the past. It is not relevant, and now it's a memory. So you hook onto a memory and think about a memory like this. It's never actually what really happened. Whatever we remember, we think we remember. Every time we remember it slightly differently, and we probably don't realise that. So actually what you remember as a circumstance isn't exactly what happened. And actually, even somebody else's perception of it would be different than your perception. So it's only a perception, and it's only a perception in that moment when you're giving it attention. So forget all of that. It's absolutely irrelevant. It is, it really is. And I know that's a very difficult one to get your head around, when you might have circumstances that you think, no way can I overcome that. Well, you're not overcoming a circumstance. That's not what you're doing. It's not about overcoming a circumstance. It's about it not being relevant, because you're going to start having an experience of reality regardless of that. That's all that's happening. You're not overcoming anything. You're not mending something. Nothing is broken. You're just going to have an experience. You're going to have a certain experience, and just because this has happened, it is not going to stop you having this experience that you want to experience. Imagine the universe, your universe, is just a bunch of code. That's all it is. And so you are just kicking in another piece of code in order to experience something different. But again, bring it back to you. It's all about you. It's not about me. It's not about your brother, your sister, your mum, your dad, your partner. It's not about anybody else. It's about what you want to experience. And when I make these videos, I get very passionate about them because I full on believe it. It's not like I'm just finding content for a video and coming on and speaking about it. It's not that. This is what I believe. And it doesn't mean that I'm right, but every time I have commanded, well, even every time I've asked, it's no different really, apart from I feel a stronger momentum around commanding, and I just like that. There was a time when I couldn't have done it because I think it's not polite. It's not polite to command, and I have a problem with that because, and even when I do it, sometimes I'll say thank you, but really it's about that command. And what are you doing when you make a command like that? You are giving your subconscious mind the clearest of instructions. This is what I want. Come hell or high water, this is what I want. And it is then conspiring with reality to bring it to you. So space and time is collapsing in on itself as it is now. Everything is then moving and rearranging itself for you to experience this. But what you don't want to do is do that and then go back to all of the reasons that it can't happen, because that's pointless, because then you go back and you are dominant on all the reasons it can't happen. So that's your command, because that's strong too, when we really feel that that's strong, and that's what we want to avoid. When you feel yourself doing that, bring yourself back to no, this is what I want. And you don't bring in the circumstance, you don't bring in anything other than the fact that you want this and you are commanding it into your life. And that's the simplest way of doing this. You don't need to affirm, you don't need to do any of these other things at all. If you do like affirming, then I wouldn't say don't do it. I'll never say that, because I use robotic affirmations, not for something that I want. I would rather just do this because it's quicker and I'm looking for the simplest route. Bear in mind that if we're going to call this the universe likes the simplest, easiest route for things. One thing to do when you command is to do this, and I've done this for many years, is just say in the most harmonious way possible, or in a way that makes me smile, because there have been a couple of occasions that I can bring to mind now where I have done this and it's come to me in the quickest way, but it's inconvenienced somebody else in the process, and I don't want to do that. So, and then when I wanted to drop a dress size, for example, that was an inconvenient way that it happened, really, because I got really ill. I got a virus and I just lost my appetite, and then my appetite never came back. But it happened really fast. So the universe found the quickest way possible in order to do this. And I just didn't have the same appetite as I had then. When I look at what I used to eat then and what I could eat, I think, God, I could never eat that now. That's how it happened. So, and I did learn from that particular thing. Okay, it had the desired effect, but it wasn't the way I was looking at it, but I didn't put any stipulation on it whatsoever. I don't like to put any specifics on things, but I think it's always a good thing to say in the most harmonious way possible, or in a way that makes me smile, because the universe can find a ton of ways to do it that way. So if you give it that instruction, that's what you're going to get. And I've found since I've done that, it's always been in a way that does make me smile, or at least in a neutral way that it is not impacting me in a negative way or anybody else. So that's just a useful one to put in that I have found, but you don't have to do that. But you just have that real power when you say it, when you're commanding. You don't need belief, you don't need faith. It's not about that. It's about the momentum around that command that you're making. Faith and belief doesn't come into it. Take that out of the equation. Never worry about that. I never worry about faith and belief. I find that I have an element of faith now, but it's just come naturally because I've just done this and done this and done this until, of course, I've got so much confirmation bias that I just naturally have that bit of faith, but I've never needed it, and I wouldn't need it now. If I didn't have it now, it wouldn't make any difference whatsoever. Not needed. It's about the command. It's about a very precise command, and one that you actually mean. It's not a wishy-washy, I think I want this, I'm not sure. You can't command with that attitude. You can't command with that feeling state. You have to know what you want. So you're commanding from a place of knowing, no, this is exactly what I want. I don't know how it's going to come. That's not my job. I'm not going to command how it comes, because that is going to close so many doors. So it isn't about how it comes. It's just about that it does come. You won't know when it's going to come. I've had things show up really fast, and I've had things take a couple of months that didn't appear to have any resistance around whatsoever. So you have to take time out of it. See time as your friend. Time is part of this, but it's a kindly part of it. If you allow it, it will happen in the fastest. If you allow it, it will happen in the simplest way possible, and it will come fast if you allow it. You have to allow it. And a state of allowing is this, going, I've done all that I can do now. Okay, now I'm going to distract myself and throw myself into other things. When I feel myself lingering in the lack and why it probably won't happen, that's what I need to pull myself back from. Nope, I have commanded. And if I'm a captain in an army, for example, a major in an army, I don't know what the rankings are, and I command a soldier to do something, and then in the afternoon, I go, oh, well, actually, I don't know, because that might not be a good idea because of this and because of that, then that command is completely null and void, because then that soldier doesn't know what to do. You have to know, and you have to be sure that that is it, and all of that other stuff has to go by the wayside. You can doubt and you can fear, like you can do that every now and again, not all the time. You don't want to be doing that, but you can do that. You can do that sometimes, and that will not stop it. You have to hold firm in your command and hold firm in your intent and your desire for that thing. The intent that is what you want, that is what you are commanding into your existence.